So it looks like Boss Barat is going to close out the Mazinger Z 50th anniversary, and it's actually available right now on Big Bad Toy Store. I have it pre-ordered from Amazon because it had been sold out on Big Bad Toy Store, and it's not scheduled to come out till January. And I could cancel the order and switch it, but I'll probably keep it that way because it's actually about $10 or more cheaper on Amazon. It'd be cool to have it now, but it's okay. And so we also have coming up Ryan and Diana, but they don't mention the 50th anniversary in the product description. So I think they're just their own thing. So I guess the question for me is, what is Bandai going to do going forward? Because Mazinger Z was kind of the at the forefront of this mecha anime explosion, but there were a lot more to come. And so looking forward in the next couple of years at what we have, for 2024, it would be the 50th anniversary of Getter Robo and Great Mazinger. Getter Robo, the original series, I don't believe has ever had a Western release, so that would be really cool. I would love to get that. Then in 2025, we'll be hitting the 50th anniversary of Getter Robo G, Grendizer, Raiding the Brave, and Steel Jeeg. And so if I look in here at Great Mazinger, so if they're going to do re-releases of Great Mazinger, let's see here. We have so Great Mazinger Venus. So I would bet that they're probably going to re-release Venus and probably do a redesign of Great Mazinger itself. Let's see. Then we have the DC version of Great Mazinger. So that's about it. Now there's a lot of other figures they could do. In fact, the Great Emperor, I'm sorry, the Great General of Darkness did have a figure created by Bandai, but that was a SH Figuarts figure, and this is what it looks like. And I read stuff on it saying that it wasn't that great. The articulation was pretty bad, and that came out quite a while ago. I don't know if they created any other Great Mazinger figures that were not of the Soul of Chogokin. So as far as I know, the only figures of Soul of Chogokin is Venus A and Great Mazinger. So there's a lot of figures they could create. Now Getter Robo, let's see. Getter Robo. We have Getter 1, 2, and 3, which were all combined in GX06. But those have already been reproduced. Those have been, and I'll show in just a little bit. I own them all. Getter Robo G, which is 1975, had Getter Dragon, Getter Liger, and Getter Poseidon, and I'd love to have those. They kind of remade Getter Dragon. So let's see. Getter Dragon, I don't have either of those. So I have the Getter 1 DC. And then Getter Emperor, which was lousy. I didn't like that one. Getter 2 and Getter 3. So those are all remakes of the Getter 1, 2, and 3. Getter Robo Go, I never bothered to get. Getter D2 is basically a remake of Getter Dragon, but it's from Getter Robo Arc and then Getter Arc. So I don't care about the first three, but I would love to get Dragon, Liger, and Poseidon. They have made Grendizer, and I believe only Grendizer himself. So the two versions of Grendizer. Raiding the Brave. They made Raiding the Brave. I don't even know how that looks, but So that would be a few years away. And Steel Jeeg, I don't think they've ever made I own a Steel Jeeg, but it's not by Bandai. And the Getorobo G also has never had as far as I know, has never had a Western release of the anime. Grendizer has never had a official release. I don't think Raideen the Brave or Steel Jeeg have ever had. So definitely for next year, I'm hoping the Getorobo original series is going to be released. And so I think the most likely one for Bandai to do a celebration of would be Great Mazinger, because that would seem to come on the heels. It would be a natural transition from the Mazinger Z 50th anniversary. And so for anyone who's not familiar with Great Mazinger, it was an entirely new set of enemy. The enemies in Mazinger Z included Dr. Hell and Ashura. Then they had Count Brocken and Pigman. So it was a very small group. And for them to make figures of those characters, they're human size. So it would be more of an SH Figuarts. I have no idea if Bandai has ever made those figures. I wouldn't be surprised. Or Koji Kabuto or Sayaka Yumi. There's all sorts of figures they could make. I'm not sure that I'm necessarily interested in the human figures. Probably not. But with the enemies in Great Mazinger, it was the Mycenae, Mycenaean, I can't say it, the Empire of Mycenae, and led by Great Emperor of Darkness. I don't think that you could really make a figure of Great Emperor of Darkness because he was kind of amorphous. He would also be gigantic, but I mean, it could be out of scale. Then you had Archduke Gorgon, who was actually a layover from Great Mazinger, and or from Mazinger Z. He actually was in the tail end of that series also. He's also not quite human-sized because he's a merging of a human-sized character and a lion or tiger. So he would be wildly out of scale if he were similar size to the Soul of Chogokin robot figures. Then we have the Great General of Darkness, and again, Bandai did create that as a SH Figuarts character. There's Minister Argos. After Archduke Gorgon died, there was the Marquis Janus, and she's human-sized, but she has a robot, so technically you could use the Marquis Janus's robot. Now, one thing that people who are not familiar should understand is that a lot of these characters, including the Great Emperor of Darkness, the Great General of Darkness, Minister Argos, and then all of these generals, they're all the size of Mazinger's Great Mazinger. They're enormous. So you could technically make figures of them in scale with Great Mazinger. So the Mycenae Empire has a very large structure of villains. We have General Julius Caesar, General Hideus, General Bertler, General Ligern, General Dredow, General Angerus, General Scarabeth. So all of these different characters, and they're all the size of Great Mazinger. Now, I'm not particularly interested in collecting all of these generals, and I highly doubt that they would make all of these. They probably would be limited maybe to Great General of Darkness, maybe Marquis Janus's robot, maybe Minister Argos, and then later on in the series, Dr. Hell actually made a return as the Great Marshal of Hell. After the Great General of Darkness died, he turned the great Emperor of Darkness turned Dr. Hell into the Great Marshal of Hell, who would also be similar size to Great Mazinger. So that's kind of what I see possibly going forward. Is hopefully now, obviously, Bandai has no control over the anime and whether those are released, but it seems like maybe Discotech Media might be inspired to release some of these, and I don't even know who has the rights at this point. They clearly have the rights to Mazinger and Great Mazinger, but I have no idea about Get a Robo or Grendizer. I mean, Grendizer was technically the follow-up to Great Mazinger, so maybe Discotech owns it and they're just holding out on it until the 50th anniversary. I don't know. They just released a Grendizer, not they, but a Grendizer video game was just released, so maybe a company will feel inspired to release the anime for people who are interested at this point. So that's kind of my take on what could happen going forward with Bandai, and hopefully with some of the anime that, as far as I know, has never been released in the West, but I certainly would be interested in buying them.